Church, it's been a long time coming, but I am really glad to be able to post this video today. As you know, we've been meeting outside for the past few weeks, and I'm really grateful that the Lord has given us good weather in order to be able to do that. That gathering outside was the first stage of us coming back together as a church. We met outside primarily so that we could get our gymnasium ready. In the gymnasium, we would be able to spread out and follow all of the guidelines that the state has asked us to follow at this time. And so I'm very happy to announce that on Sunday morning, May 31st at 10:30 a.m., we are going to be regathering, Lord willing, back in our gymnasium. There's plenty of room for us here to spread out, and we think that we can safely meet here, at least for the foreseeable future. And I'm really grateful that the Lord has made this possible for us. There have been a lot of people who've put a lot of work into this. And so with them volunteering, we were able to get this done maybe even a little ahead of the schedule that we thought that we might be able to. You might be wondering when Sunday school is going to resume. That would be stage 3 of us coming back together. I don't have a date for that yet. To be honest with you, there was a lot of work that went into the gym, and a lot of people worked on that. And so with all of our energy going into that, we wanted to be able to gather back together inside, and then we'll work on the timeline for us to have Sunday school. I'm hoping that that is going to be in the coming month at some point. Our final stage of regathering is going to be to start our children's ministries back. And we're really just not to the point to where we're comfortable with doing that yet. I wish that we could. But one of the things about children's ministry, if you've ever done that, is that you are in a lot closer quarters a lot of time. There's a lot of personal contact, especially with younger children, picking them up. And one of the things that we know about COVID-19 is, especially in children, they can be asymptomatic and be carriers of the virus, which could make it easily transmittable to one of the workers. And we have workers who are in a more vulnerable population. So at this point, to be wise, we've decided to not start our children's ministry back yet. Now, I want you to know that even though we don't have nursery or junior church, children's church, anything along those lines, that children are very welcome in our worship gathering. As a matter of fact, not just welcome, they are encouraged to be here. We know that they'll wiggle. We know that they'll probably make sounds, but we will gladly bear with their wiggling. We will gladly bear with the sounds that they make in order to be able to worship with you and your family. So what is Sunday going to look like? As you know, we've met outside for a few weeks, and that has been great. But one of the things about meeting outside was we didn't really have to worry about a lot of the guidelines because we were so spread out and we were outdoors. Well, coming back into the gymnasium, we're going to have to follow the guidelines that the state has put forth. We're going to have to follow those a little bit closer. I've said it before, we don't want to become a COVID hotspot. There is a church, maybe not much bigger than ours, in the northern part of our state that became a hot spot last week. I don't know if there was a breakdown in their safety procedures or what, but that church has had to stop meeting for a while, and everyone who was there had to isolate for 2 weeks. And we want to make sure that we do everything that we can to avoid that being us. So what we've done is we've put every precaution in place that we know to put in place. If we follow those procedures, we should be fine. Most importantly, of course, we're going to ask the Lord to protect us and to keep us from having any transmission or anyone getting sick from our gatherings. But we have to understand we're going to pray and ask for the Lord's help, and we're going to trust Him, but we're also going to be wise ourselves. So what does that mean? Well, first of all, when you come in on Sunday morning, we're going to ask you to come straight in and to grab a seat. And then once you get in that seat, to stay in that seat. We really don't have the capability of sanitizing our seats in the middle of the service. So once you grab a seat, stay with that seat. The other thing is, as you fellowship with each other, please keep that 6 feet of distance between you according to the guidelines. We're going to continue to go with the smiles and the nods instead of the handshakes and the hugs. You can blow all the holy kisses you want from 6 feet away. As you fellowship, please do so inside the gym. It's very large and well ventilated, or go outside. Please do not stop and talk or congregate in the hallway in between the entrance and the gymnasium. It is a smaller area, so we want to make sure we're either inside the gym or that we are outside. Our water fountain isn't going to be available for safety reasons, so feel free to bring something to drink, water, coffee, anything along those lines. And then also, because we have no way to prop a bathroom door open and to keep things safe that way, we're going to ask that you obviously wash your hands as you leave the restroom, but when you go out of the restroom, that you get a squirt of hand sanitizer. We have been able to eliminate every contact point in the gymnasium that we know of, except for the doorknobs of the bathroom. And so for the safety of our more vulnerable members, we're going to ask you to wash your hands before you leave the restroom, and then after you leave that you would also get a squirt of hand sanitizer. And I think that that will keep us safe as far as that is concerned. We're going to have face masks available, but they aren't going to be required. That's one reason why we decided to meet in the gym, was so that we could meet without having to wear the face mask and sing without those on. This is a much better ventilated area, and so those will be available for you, but obviously not required at this point. As usual, we're going to have a place for you to give without having to have any contact. There will be an offering plate where you can drop your offering in. You can continue to give online if you want. And then we're also working on one other means of electronic giving, and hopeful to be able to tell you about that on Sunday. Then finally, as far as parking is concerned, come park down in front of the gym. We have 2 handicap parking spaces there. You can also park up the hill in the gravel parking lot there, and that will bring you down to the gymnasium. Let's fill those 2 lots up first, and then if we need to use the asphalt lot out in front of the main building, then we can park up there. But park in front of the gym and then just up the hill first, and let's fill that in. I'm sure that we all are going to have different feelings about the way that the virus has been handled. And we might not like some of the things that we're going to have to follow as we regather inside. I'll be honest with you. There's some of the things that we're going to follow that I don't like, because it just doesn't feel like it's normal. It doesn't feel like church the way that I have always known it. But it is very important that we follow these guidelines. So, if one of our ushers, or even if I gently remind you to follow one of the guidelines, please know that we're just trying to keep things safe so that we can continue to meet. One of the things that I've loved the past few Sundays is being able to sing with you. When we were outside, we could sing as loud as we wanted to our heart's content. One of the things about singing outside is it's hard to hear each other. So what I'm looking forward to is this Sunday being in here in this room with you, us singing with all of our heart, worshiping a risen Savior. And so I would encourage you to begin to prepare your heart, and to prepare your heart to worship the Lord, to prepare your heart to receive the preaching of the Word. So until Sunday, church, I'm praying for you. And until Sunday, God bless you.